Let's begin here with this year's Women's World Cup that has drawn eyes from all over the world after players' fight for equal pay made headlines. Our next guest, though, says the gap is closing both on and off the field, setting up a totally different landscape for this year's tournament. Pardeep Khatri is CBS Sports soccer writer. She joins me now. Pardeep, it's good to talk to you. A lot of excitement going into the knockout rounds, but let's talk about the state of play right now. FIFA already estimating 2 billion people watching this year's games. That is roughly double what we had 4 years ago. How much of that has translated, at least on the pay side of things, and what has actually changed over the last 4 years?
Arguably everything. From the USWNT winning their equal pay battle to really just all across the globe, you've seen different organizations, sponsors put money into women's soccer. And that money has directly gone to the players a lot of the time, obviously from their own paychecks, but really into, resources and training and other ways to professionalize the game that has seen the gap close, obviously in everybody's bank accounts, but really on the field too.
How big of an uptick have we seen, at least in investment, when you think about the last 4 years?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's exponential. I don't have the exact numbers, but I mean, FIFA has increased the prize money quite a bit for this World Cup. Like I said, the U.S. women's national team has seen equal pay. There are a couple other countries around the world that have it too now, like Norway, Australia, the Netherlands are on their way, I think. So it's that. And then it's also different levels of investment at different levels of the game, right? So you have the league in the States, for example, the NWSL. There are more sponsors in that league than there were 4 years ago. There's more eyeballs on it now. So really just when I say across the board, and I really do mean it.
You talk about more eyeballs on the game. 2 billion roughly is what FIFA is estimating in terms of viewership. How has that shifted the way FIFA sponsors value the game?
I think the 2019 tournament sort of proved to, a lot of stakeholders that there is money to be made here, that people will watch it if they're given access points. So you're seeing better TV deals or better broadcast deals and a lot of sponsorship and media deals that go with it. FIFA in particular really stepped up their game in between the last World Cup and this one by first separating the sponsorship structure. So now sponsors can directly invest in women's soccer if they want to. Visa is the first company to sign on to that. And then they tried to find a broadcast deal in a lot of places, specifically for the women's tournament, because they decided, this is going to actually make us like a different level of money than we originally anticipated. They didn't quite get that deal across the line in every place around the world, mainly Europe, but they, I believe, reportedly value the Women's World Cup rights at $300 million right now, but that could change. They expect it to change quite rapidly for the next one.
So that sponsorship structure change you just pointed to, what does that mean in terms of additional money flowing into the game?
So now FIFA has different brackets set up for, the level of sponsorship you can put into women's soccer, or specifically like the World Cup, right? So if you wanted to be, a top tier sponsor, would cost you a certain, like a certain $1 million range. But that sort of separate sponsorship category did not exist before. So any money that FIFA was making through World Cups was brands saying, okay, we'll sponsor the men's, and I guess technically you'll throw in the women's too, so we'll sponsor that. But like I said, now Visa has come in as a sponsor of the women's tournament. The New Zealand-based software company Zero has come on. So now it's just a new revenue stream for FIFA that they can put into women's soccer specifically.
Finally, Pardeep, American viewers, at least looking ahead to this Sunday, a lot of people are going to get up early to watch that match against Sweden. There's some anxiety, you could argue, going into that, given the performance of the U.S. team so far. What are you going to be watching for?
Oh my gosh. I think it's a really, really big game for obviously the team as a whole, the program as a whole, but specifically the coach, Latko Andonovski. I think this match could serve as a referendum on his entire tenure as the U.S. women's national team coach. It was his job to, refresh the team after a bunch of retirements in between 2019 and now. And while he did bring a bunch of new players to the team, this team has obviously not lived up to its potential yet, and he will be expected to do so and get probably every decision right.
Okay. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Pardeep Khatri, CBS Sports soccer writer. Good to talk to you today. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for having me.